Alright everyone, today we have a 9070XT paired with a 14600K in a new build that I have here. And we're going to test out Ark Survival Ascended. Right now we are on the low preset. FSR frame generation is disabled. And we have the Unreal upscaling set to 100%. We're looking at 48, 49 FPS with a VRAM utilization of about 11.2. We have a nice usage of 96% with a temperature of 61 degrees and 87 degrees on that hotspot with a 330-ish power draw right now. Alright, so here we have kind of the base setting for a 4K experience. Now I'm going to go through 1440 and 1080 on this test just to give you all the resolutions. Low seems to be pretty smooth. Of course, we've got some anomalies here from other videos that show rocks floating in the air and just kind of some weird stuff. So let's just keep going. And sorry if I sound a little under the weather. I am sick, but the show must go on. So let's drop in here and go to medium and see what that does. We're just going to go through all these presets right now. Let it do its thing and load in. Alright, cool. Alright, so now we're at 27 FPS. This game still runs pretty terribly. On this particular card, though, it's no different, really. No matter what card I put in this thing, this game is just terrible. Terrible experience. 26 FPS here on medium. Alright, so let's just keep going with the rest of the test. Jump over here and go to the high preset. Again, this is at 4K, so it's going to be pretty demanding. So right now, hopefully we don't have a crash. If we do have a crash, then I'll come back and get the video put back together. That gives us 25 FPS with a 14.2 VRAM utilization. Yeah, just not a good situation here. Again, this game is just incredibly busted. I mean, it's just really, really broken. You can get it to work with frame generation, but again, you shouldn't have to rely on frame generation for kind of the basic 60 FPS experience, especially on a game like this. Alright, let's just jump in here and go to our epic settings. Alright, so this is recommended a 4070 and up, which this card should be more than powerful enough for that recommendation. Let's just go back here. It kind of takes a little while, some of these settings, to get everything put back together. We are at 1820 FPS here at 4K on epic settings. Not ideal whatsoever. It does look okay, looks good, but the frame time graph is a mess. The FPS is really bad. And our VRAM utilization is basically maxing this thing out for no apparent reason other than it's just poorly coded. Yeah, the lag is awful. My mouse feels like it's attached to a rubber band. Yeah, you don't want to play like this. Alright, so let's just jump in here and go through some FSR. Well, not FSR. We're going to go Unreal, and we're going to upscale it to trying to get a good setting at epic settings to play it like this. So 67% upscale is about a quality. It's a quality upscale. That gives you a little bit better experience because right around 30, a lot of consoles will target 30. It's not ideal for PC by any means, but it is a playable experience at least. So with some frame generation, I feel like you might be able to get this to run pretty well at 4K. On those epic settings. Alright, so let's just jump in and do a little bit of frame generation here. I'm going to go with FSR, of course, that's our only option. DLSS is not an option on this, but that's okay. And that gives us 46 FPS, so still not a 60 FPS experience, even with the FSR frame generation turned on and upscaling. So you can do one of two things if you would like to get some more performance out of it. The frame time graph is much smoother, but our VRAM utilization is obviously just completely blown up. I mean, 15.8 is insane, especially for a game like this. So we're going to go down to high because whenever you upscale on the Unreal Engine, built-in upscaler, it doesn't look near as good as FSR. in my opinion, or DLSS certainly. So this will give you over 60. Again, I am frame generating, but it is a much smoother experience. There's nothing really that's like sticking out to me as like a big hang up. I mean, the mouse is a little rubber bandy. Again, that's just frame generation because you have such a low frame rate. But unfortunately, on this game, there's just nothing you can do about that unless you go down to like really low settings. So frame generation with an upscale, let's try the medium preset. That seems to be something that we could, potentially start off with that frame generation and upscale turned on. You may be able to eke out 4K from this. It does feel a little bit better, 84 FPS again. All this is with frame generation. All right, so we're back here at the beginning. Sorry I keep cutting away. My voice is getting a little bit garbled here from not feeling too well. All right, so right now let's just go ahead and try to go down to the 1440p resolution and see what that kind of gives us at some of these settings, because 4K is doable, but it's definitely not ideal at all. I'm going to fix my frame time graph here because it's kind of exploded. All right, I just cut away. I had to resize my metrics there because we went to 1440p. Unfortunately, that does affect it. So let's just leave the Unreal on. That's just going to be a requirement. I fear like there's just nothing that you're going to be able to do at 100% scaling. We're going to try it and just see where it goes. But right now, we're just going to leave the Unreal on. FSR, I've tried it in other tests. It's just incredibly stuttery and broken. So I don't want to waste anyone's time. Just use the Unreal upscaler. All right, so that will be 50%. This is 100% upscaling on the Unreal method with frame generation turned off, and we have right at 70 FPS or 50 FPS. This is the menu, so no frame generation. Everything looks good here. Medium preset. All right, so let's just jump over to high. See what that does for us. And if I can get around 40 FPS, I feel like frame generating from there would be a decent concession to make, considering how poorly this game is running. All right, so that is 45 FPS here. Right at high settings, again, your VRAM is getting obliterated for no apparent reason. Just the game runs that bad. That's the reason. I'm probably going to get attacked by something over here, I'm sure. But yeah, 44 FPS, I would probably say you could frame generate from here, but I wanted to see what it looked like with the graphics preset set to Epic, and just kind of see where we're at as far as Epic settings go with 100% upscale, so which is basically native. Go back here. Resume. All right, so that gives us a whopping 35%. Some stutters there, but we're going to forgive it because we just changed some settings, so it kind of is catching up with itself here. All right, so looking okay though, not for a game that isn't this game, but for this game, 34 is honestly like kind of decent. I mean, as bad as that is, it's just a really terrible running game. All right, so let's just jump over here, do some upscaling, try that out, see what that looks like. So we're going to drop this back down to that quality preset, and we're going to lose a little bit of fidelity. Quality at Unreal isn't as good by any means as DLSS or FSR upscaling. So we're just going to see what that gives us with a little bit of reduction in our visual fidelity. But it does give us a little bit of performance back. We're at 45 FPS here. And this is a decent way to play it. And then you can do some frame generation from here. Again, your VRAM is just, I mean, it's a black hole. I mean, I don't know why it's using so much freaking VRAM right now, but that's just what this game does. It does not run well. All right, so with that said, let's just jump over here. We're going to go to frame generation, cut that on. Let's see what frame generation. So let's just recap. We've got Epic settings. We've got 1440p. We've got Unreal anti-aliasing with FSR frame generation, resolution scale set to quality, and I'm not sure if this really matters too much on this title, but we'll go ahead and full screen it just to make sure that everything is kind of locked in. All right, so save that, head back, resume. All right, so we have 83, 94, 96 FPS. Now this might have just been the intention, was just for this game to totally rely on upscaling and frame generation to do, anything, which seems to be the case. I don't think they're ever going to really fix this title. Maybe they will, maybe they won't, but they don't seem to be super worried about getting it to run well. You should not need a, NASA mainframe in order to, I'm gonna die. Yep, I just didn't realize I was getting attacked. You shouldn't need a, extremely powerful computer to run a game like this, but that's just what you have to have. All right, so let's restart here. Oh, great, right in front of a freaking Komodo dragon. All right, let's just keep going and try some other settings here. So we can kind of determine that this is the expectation at 1440, but what about dropping it to 1080p. So here we are at 1080p. We have it set to the medium preset, and everything is reset back to normal. We're just going to use frame generation set to none, so no frame gen, and resolution scale at 100, so we're back to native. All right, so this would be 1080p native with medium preset. I'm probably going to drown. Maybe I won't. Hopefully I won't. All right, so we're at 65 FPS here, which is a much smoother experience. Of course, we went way down in our resolution. Man, I'm just not going to be able to get past these piranhas, am I? Just like, oh man. All right, let's just stay on this island then. So, okay, so everything looks pretty good other than, of course, our VRAM is just completely through the roof for no reason. Medium preset. And yeah, we do have a lot snappier response. This game is running a lot better at 1080p, which it should. So again, you could probably just go up to Epic settings and go from there. But let's see what high does first. I'm just curious what just going straight to high feels like. Again, everything is 1080p. Nothing is messed with at all from the previous set of tests. That drops us to 56 FPS, right under 60, unfortunately, with a VRAM allocation of 15.03 of usage. That is just crazy. All right, so yeah, I mean, it looks like it's using and allocating exactly the same all the time, which is strange. Usually you have allocation a bit higher, but that tells me that it's just running out. It's just totally out of VRAM. There's not even enough to allocate. It's just using it as it's available as assets load in and out of the screen, which results in these choppy stutters and stuff. Yeah, just not a great experience at all. I mean, for what it's worth, though, this game is just still so bad. All right, let's go to Epic settings. No upscaling, no frame generation. Let's just see what that does for us, because I'm thinking we can maybe frame generate back up to 60, and then, oh yeah, whew, man, this game is just so bad. I mean, 33 FPS here at 1080p is quite a joke on this card. I mean, a 9070XT is not a slouch by any means, and it should be handily running through this game with no problem, but it is because the game is just so bad. All right, so here we go. Let's see what I would probably run it at. All right, so here we go. Epic settings, that's fine. Let's just do some upscaling from 67. Okay, go ahead and apply that, and then we'll see what frame generation looks like. All right, so we're upscaling to basically a quality setting, which on Unreal doesn't look good. It doesn't look as good as FSR quality or DLSS quality, but that only gives you 45 FPS, and we're still just tanking our VRAM. This game has, I don't know if it's like a memory leak or something, but it is just destroying VRAM for no reason. Oh man, this game is so rough. All right, so let's just jump in and do some frame generation. Then I'm just going to wrap it up because, man, this is painful. All right, so what that gives us, epic settings, 1080p, 102 FPS, 101 FPS, a little over 100 FPS with frame generation turned on. Oh yeah, we hit these notes every now and then. All right, so anyway, yeah, 122 FPS, 118 FPS, with basically all the VRAM on the card being snatched up and chewed through. So anyway, that's been this title. If you like this kind of work, please consider liking, subscribing, support my channel in any way like that. I'm going to get killed by this raptor thing, and then we'll see you in the very next video. Peace.